Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Mr. O'Sullivan.
It's until
Honourable,
12 hour 33.
sorry, Chair.
Until 12 hour 33.
Mr. O'Sullivan, Honourable Shongwe asked you if you owned the Kleche, not Kleche, Creature's house, and you said that you don't, and it's owned by a company. Is the director that you were speaking about, Anthony Fitzhenry?
That's correct, Chairman.
Okay. Is he your business partner?
He's a friend and a business partner.
Okay. And did he resign from Forensic for Justice in 2016?
Pardon me?
Did he resign from Forensic for Justice around July 2016?
I can't remember.
But he resigned at some point. He was.
I don't know if he was a director of Forensics for Justice.
Okay. Is that because the two of you have a few directorships together in some companies, one of them called St. Helena Corporation?
That's correct. I sold him that company.
Okay. And then are you a director of a company also called Trade Winds Corporation with Anthony?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
a public company based in London.
Okay. And this is the one who holds the mortgage for your house?
No,
No?
there's no mortgage on my house.
Did it ever hold a mortgage for your house?
I'm trying to remember the year, but I think at one stage, yes, that's correct.
Okay. And it also holds the mortgage for the Creche house?
There's no mortgage on the Kretcher house. It was paid.
Did it at some point hold the mortgage for the Creche house?
Never.
Never, okay. I just want to go to the charge sheet. And on page 31, advocate that was here, the former senior prosecutor in your 2017 case, he told the committee yesterday that you went to the Staple Hills waterfront estate with the IPID officers and that you took photographs of General Paklani's home. Did you do that?
I took photographs of what?
Of General Paklani's home, when
No,
you went?
I took Google Earth photographs
Okay.
in the previous year. I never took photographs of the house when I
So-
went there. In fact, I included that photograph in the docket that I opened.
Okay.
And I took that photograph in 2015.
Okay. So you didn't take any pictures inside the home and sent it through to the IPID investigators. So we won't find any evidence later or any information rather, Mr. O'Sullivan, that will confirm that you took pictures and then you sent it to the IPID investigators.
Took pictures of what?
Inside Lieutenant General Paklani's home.
I've never
when you went.
I've never been inside the house in question.
Okay.
Never been there.
Okay, the affidavit you refer to quite regularly here to the Zondo Commission, in paragraph 31, you state you state there was an internal confidential memorandum, right, within the NPA. And this was in relation to the senior prosecutor that was prosecuting your case. And it was regarding the arrest of Sarah Jane Trent that involved the kidnapping and that a phone was stolen. Can you confirm that you received this memorandum from the authors? Or how did you get a copy of an internal memorandum from the NPA?
The docket that we had opened, I had opened the docket for kidnap and contempt of court, and Sarah Jane Trent had opened a docket for kidnap and theft of her cell phone and intimidation. And these dockets were unlawfully removed from the prosecutors, and I can't remember the lady's name now, but the lady in question supplied me with a copy of the letter saying, listen, it's out of our hands. We have sent this docket to, I think it went to Sean Abrahams or somebody else, I don't know.
Okay, so the question here was there was an internal confidential memorandum
Yes.
I'm asking about that because you refer to it in page 34 of your affidavit to the Zondo Commission. How did you get that internal memorandum?
Sure. I can't remember
Okay.
now. We're talking about 10 years
So
ago.
do you know who the authors were?
I can't remember their names. There were two deputy directors of prosecution.
No, the authors of that internal memorandum.
I'd have to look at my statement to find their names, but I believe there were two deputy directors of public prosecution in Pretoria.
Okay. Well, do you know if they were members of AfriForum?
I haven't a clue.
Okay. We're going to talk about the Barkhuizen matter. Do you remember? Do you recall that? In 2015, did the family request, or did you assist the family?
Oh, I can't remember the lady's name. Mrs. Barkhuizen was murdered.
And her husband, George Barkhuizen, was initially convicted of her murder. Were you involved in the investigation?
In fact, the family came to us. They came to. It was a pro bono case, so the family didn't have any money, and their complaint was that Mrs. Barkhuizen had been murdered, and when we carried out the initial investigation, we were able to secure video evidence, and we supplied that to the police, to the investigating officer. And then Mr. Barkhuizen had appointed an attorney. I asked the attorney if he would be prepared to meet with me to clear the air, and he agreed to meet with me. And one of my colleagues, Melissa Naidoo, and I suggested to his attorney that the police should be present in case they would have questions as well. And we sat in a plus-minus 3-hour meeting. And at the end of the 3-hour meeting, the police decided to arrest him for the murder, and he was charged.
Okay.
And when the matter went to the High Court, I was subpoenaed as a witness. So too was Melissa Naidoo. And we gave evidence, and at the end of the High Court trial, he was convicted. I can't remember. I think he got life in prison. And he took it on appeal about 2 years later. And I believe the appeal court overturned his conviction.
Okay. So you were, from what you've just explained, that you were working with the police in this investigation?
So any investigation you do, especially a murder, you have to work with the police. You can't carry out the investigation on your own. So what we did, we carried out our own investigations, and the information that we obtained, we supplied it to the police. So we didn't investigate with the police. We carried out our own investigations, and we were able, for example, I got 25 volunteers, and we searched the whole, area of ground near the house where the murder took place. And we did more than that. We knocked on the doors. The police didn't have the resources. We knocked on the doors of every single house in the street where the murder took place to see if anybody heard or saw anything. And we were able to get some video footage from one of the houses, which was then handed over to the police.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sullivan. So on that case, you confirming that you were present at the Oakdean offices when I think it's Wademan, who was the investigator, conducted the search. And you conducted the search with her on around the 3rd of July, 2015?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't think we carried out. I think the police carried out the search. We didn't.
You weren't there?
I don't recall being there when the police carried out any search.
I want to go to the actual, the George who was convicted, and he took the matter on appeal, and it was overturned. The judgment is 8 pages. And the judges make quite scathing remarks that the primary witness, his initial statement was changed, and he also refers to the private investigator. You don't remember any of that?
I have no knowledge of that. I think there was another private investigator involved. The family involved another person.
But they also summoned you in the primary investigation. So you're saying that after...
To the trial.
Yeah, so
Yes,
during
I believe
the trial...
the other person was summoned as well. Or not summoned, subpoenaed.
Okay, so you were summoned to the trial.
No, I wasn't summoned. I was subpoenaed.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. You were subpoenaed to the trial.
Mm-hmm.
There was also, to your knowledge, another private investigator that was subpoenaed to the trial.
I think there was a lot of people subpoenaed to the trial.
No, I'm asking about a private investigator because
yes,
the judgment...
I believe that I believe there was another, I don't know who his name was. I believe there was another private investigator that the family went to.
So the family wouldn't have told you that they have you, because if they didn't have money, how would they have gotten two private investigators?
I believe they got, so we didn't do it as a private investigator. We did it as a pro bono case through Forensics for Justice. The reality of the situation is they'd been to somebody else. They had paid that person money, and I don't know what happened there, but apparently they hadn't got any results. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so there were two private investigators, yourself and somebody else who you don't know, but you continued investigating.
Just to clarify, we weren't private investigators. We carried out a forensic investigation.
Okay, no problem. So you're saying that the High Court judgment, where it talks about specifically about the private investigator who was with the colonel who was investigating, and they got the primary witness to change their statement, was not referring to you?
Definitely not. I never got any witness to change any statement. I wouldn't do that. That would amount to defeating the ends of justice.
But I'm just saying this judgment says that, but you disputing that the three judges who made this call, and quite scathing remarks, which will make the judgment available, was not referring to you as the private investigator, because you only...
I haven't seen the judgment.
Okay, we can make that available. I'm just asking, but
Yeah.
now it's only after, when I brought this up, you said that there was another private investigator.
I think we knew all along that there was another private investigator, and it was in the media that there was another private investigator. But I can't remember. We're talking about more than 10 years ago.
No
I can't
problem.
remember that
I would have
person's
just thought
name.
you would have said that when I asked initially that you did the work pro bono, but the family had already paid for another private investigator.
You didn't ask me that.
No, I didn't, but you mentioned it when I brought up the court judgment. But no, we can move on. It's not a big deal. We can get clarity from the court as well on which private investigator they were referring to in that judgment. Are you registered with the Private Security Industry Regulating Authority?
I am, yes.
Okay, which company? How many companies are registered there? Because we couldn't find details.
It's there on the register.
I beg your pardon?
It's there on the register. I'll call it up now
okay.
if you want.
And then there's a code of conduct. Are you familiar with it for those that are registered or private practitioners, private security practitioners?
So if I can explain to you, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority, my registration dates back to the 90s, and I've just kept the registration going, but I actually don't perform any security work. So I'm not even obliged to be registered.
So who regulates your work as a forensic investigator?
The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners.
Okay.
And there's a code of conduct.
Is that in South Africa?
Correct.
Okay. Let's talk about the PPP investigation you did for the ANC.
The what investigation?
The COVID-19 PPE matter involving the 125 million rand.
Yeah, we didn't do the investigation for the ANC.
Who did you do it for?
I can't remember the gentleman's name.
Was he an ANC member? Was he the
I think he
MEC
was
of Health?
that's it, MEC of Health in Gauteng. He approached us.
But he is the ANC, okay, yeah.
Yes, but we did the investigation for him in his personal capacity.
Or in his personal capacity?
Correct.
Because he was charged?
Pardon?
Or did you do the investigation for him because he was charged for corruption in the scandal, or how did it come about?
No, he wasn't charged with corruption. The allegation was that he had allowed, if I recall correctly, that he had allowed employees within the Department of Health in Gauteng. And he asked us to do the investigation personally, so it wasn't done for the ANC and it wasn't done for the Department of Health. And our investigation identified the individuals within the Department of Health. And we then handed that investigation to him, which he then went and gave to the police.
Okay, and Dr. Bandile Masuku, is that the name?
That sounds familiar.
How did he find out about you, or how do you know? Did he approach you?
I don't know. We have a website and we have a telephone number, and he approached. He asked for a meeting, and he signed the mandate, and we carried out the investigation. It wasn't a long investigation. We interviewed, I think, maybe 2, 3, 4 people, and then we drew up a report and we gave it to him.
Do you know what happened to the report?
I haven't a clue.
Do you know if anybody was cleared? Did the ANC use that in its integrity committee? You don't know anything. You just submitted it to him.
I haven't a clue. We gave him the report, and I understand he went and opened a criminal docket against the members of the employees. And I think the one was the chief finance officer, if I recall. I can't remember her name. And another one was a procurement officer, and that they had rigged the procurement process to acquire, I'm not sure if it was masks or something else.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So it were the staff members or those working in the department that you found were involved in the PPE, and you cleared any politicians of any criminal doing? Or did you identify any politicians in your report?
One thing we never do is we never issue a certificate of cleanliness. And the reason for that is if you issue a certificate of cleanliness and it's later found out to be wrong, what we did say, I think, in the report is these are the people we've identified, and we explained the reasons why. And then I think, and again, I don't have the report in front of me, but I think we may have said we found no evidence implicating, and we listed the people that we could find no evidence. But that's not a report of cleanliness. It's just a statement that we could find no evidence.
Okay. Your relationship or your engagements with the now Lieutenant General Mosikile, she was at some point an acting commissioner in Gauteng, and she also headed up its detective services. What has been your engagements with her over the years?
I don't think I've spoken to her for more than 10 years. I can't remember. It would be a very long time ago.
So when you were in contact with her 10 years ago, however long it was, what sort of engagements did you have with her?
It's probably even more than 10 years ago. I'm afraid I can't remember. It's probably 15 years ago, 20
Did you have meetings with her regularly?
I don't think so. We may have had, I just can't remember.
You've never asked to have meetings with her and dropped off dossiers in her office on investigations?
I can't remember.
You don't?
It's possible. You know, when you open...
You know, that normally happens. We don't remember when we're not sure if someone has submitted evidence.
If I could remember, Chairman, I would absolutely say I can remember this and I can remember that. I do.
You remember a lot of other things, though.
Well, with all due respect, you know, you have to try and move some of the stuff out of your memory to put other stuff into the memory.
No problem.
And as far as I can remember, my interactions with General Mosekile at the time were business-like, cordial and professional. The same like with General Sabia, we never had any social interactions with her. There would be, I think at one stage she was head of detectives for Gauteng.
Okay.
And during that period, there would have been cases that, and I don't think we're alone in saying this, that some cases get stuck in a log jam at a police station somewhere, or there's some interference with a case where the case doesn't get properly investigated, and the only way to deal with those matters is to escalate it.
Okay.
And we would have escalated those matters. So, and I think that's probably...
She just, when she spoke about you rather affectionately, but I suppose she's younger and her memory might be a little bit more fresh.
If I'd say I probably haven't spoken to her for 10 years, I think that would be fairly accurate.
Okay. No, but I wasn't talking about the time on how long, but I was talking about at a period. But it's fine.
Pardon, I can't hear you. Sorry, Chair, this chair is grossly uncomfortable.
Next, Honorable,
No, she's continuing, sir.
she's using her minutes.
She's in charge.
She's using her minutes.
I mean,
She's in charge.
Okay.
thank you. I'm almost done anyway. Just on General Mosekile, there's an email, but it's unconfirmed yet, and we are getting clarity on this email, where she recommends you to do this investigation for Dr. Masuku. Like, highly recommended you. Would you be surprised if she would do something like that?
Chairman, I would have no knowledge of this email.
Okay.
I can't remember why Dr. Masuku came to us. People come to us and they ask us to do an investigation. The first thing we do
No
is,
problem.
is
It
the
was
normal
just a big
FICA
case.
checks and stuff, and then they sign a mandate and we get on with the investigation.
Okay, completely understand, Mr. O'Sullivan. It was just quite a big case, so I thought it would be something that would be entrenched in your memory, but that's no problem. Let's talk about, apparently, and you'll say, tell us yes or no, there's a download or an existence of some proof of payments amounting to 200,000. And this reflects payments that were made towards McBride's legal fees at some point. Are you aware of anything like that?
Chairman, I think I already gave evidence that we made a donation to,
Okay.
and it was just a contribution. I believe the legal fees ran into
Okay.
millions, but we donated 200,000 rand.
So you are confirming that? Okay, no
That's
problem.
correct.
And you personally authorized those payments towards the legal fees?
That is correct. In fact, we paid it to the attorneys.
Okay, no problem. We're just going to go back a little bit when you applied for your permanent residency in South Africa in 1989. And in that application, with the information we received from Home Affairs, and I think, and I hope the evidence leaders circulated that bundle because we put it in the group a while ago. But in that bundle, we do have some copies. It's just two of the documents we're going to refer to. You declared that you owned two houses, one in the United Kingdom, which was still under mortgage and being paid, and then another house in South Africa. And you said you had very little cash in hand. And then there's no record on this application of multiple properties or significant capital investments. Is this correct?
No, so that would have been the properties in my personal name.
Oh, okay. No
That wouldn't have dealt with institutional.
Okay. So when you submit applications to Home Affairs, it's my understanding that you would state that this is my personal and these are So you didn't provide the information to Home Affairs when you applied for your permanent residency to state that you also had, these are the companies and these are the properties that I have.
I can't, we're talking
You can't remember. Okay.
40 years ago. I went and I sat and they wanted accountants' records, audited accounts and so on. And if I have to look for them now, I don't think I'll find them.
Okay. Okay. Because Home Affairs file doesn't have anything that indicated that you had more than 2 properties and one was under investigation.
Under investigation.
Sorry, not under investigation, that you had any other properties that just indicate one was
I had
under mortgage.
I had
beg your
multiple
pardon.
properties. So
Well, you didn't declare that to Home
I-
Affairs when
I
you
absolute-
applied in
I abs-
1989.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they weren't in my name.
Okay, but
you
you
know,
declared to them that.
I declared all my assets and liabilities.
Okay. So I think we must note that for our evidence leaders and our legal team that we get clarity on all the documents. They have provided it to us, but we must get it officially via the committee chair on what's information, because what we have, it's not showing that. And then just quickly, and on our last point here, would be in 1991, there was a motor accident judgment in the UK. Dr. R. Finn. So you wrote to the Department of Home Affairs stating that he was pursuing a private investigation against you for a motor accident that you caused. And then he
In
obtained a
1991?
judgment, 1991. And he obtained a judgment for you for £1,000.
I know
Are you
nothing,
aware of that
I
correspondence?
know nothing about it.
Oh, okay. And Home Affairs later contacted you regarding this matter, and you responded to the letter from Dr. Finn.
I don't
And
even
you
know who
listed
this
your-
Dr. Fenn is.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. So that's also something we must note and follow up and get clarity on the Home Affairs files. But in the meantime, we do have those few documents. I'm done. Thank you, Chair. And
Am I